Topspin is one of the main types of spin in table tennis, characterized by making the ball spin forward and widely used during offensive play. In this video, we will look at 3 different ways to return this spin, starting with the most basic and ending with the most advanced. First, we need to understand that when a ball with topspin makes contact with the rubber, it applies a downward force, and due to friction, the rubber responds by pushing it upward. The greater the friction capacity of the rubber, the stronger it will push it upward. Similarly, the higher the ball's rotation speed, the greater the force it will exert on the rubber, and the stronger it will push it upwards. So the first way to return topspin is simply by closing the angle of the racket. By closing the angle of the racket, we redirect this upward force forward. We can also accompany the ball by moving our racket forward to give it more speed and depth, although it's important to keep in mind that the incoming topspin already provides extra impulse to the ball on contact, and therefore it is usually unnecessary to generate much additional power with our stroke. This technique appears in strokes such as the forehand block or backhand block, and it is one of the most basic ways to deal with topspin balls. The second way to return this spin is with a countertop spin. In this technique, the ball is hit with an upward movement, producing friction contact that transfers our own topspin. As in the previous case, the racket angle must remain closed, and the ball should be hit on its upper part to prevent it from being pushed upwards. This is a more offensive technique, but requires greater precision in movement and greater control during contact, which is why it is mainly suited for advanced players, and is used in strokes such as the forehand countertop spin or backhand countertop spin. The third way to return a ball with topspin is with a chop or a backspin stroke. This technique is more commonly used by defensive players, where the racket describes a downward movement and produces friction contact with the ball, returning it with backspin. After the stroke, the ball continues to spin in the same direction but moves in the opposite direction, which is why the incoming topspin turns into backspin. To perform this stroke correctly, it is important to reach enough racket speed at the moment of impact. Since the force is applied in the same direction as the ball's rotation, if the speed of the racket exceeds the ball's rotational speed, the ball will not exert a downward force on the rubber, and therefore the rubber will not push it upward. For this reason, it is possible to keep a more open racket angle. We can see it in strokes such as the chop when executed far from the table, or the chop block when executed close to the table.